what happens is when we're around people all the time, we forget. Y'all remember Mario Mitchell that spoke last year at our event? Y'all remember Mario? He's homeless, and he told his story about building his team. So Hunter and I went on a trip with a couple of people. Mario was one of them on a trip out to California. And we were having dinner one night, and Mario says, Hunter, tell me how you put together some of these development deals. And the rest of us were just kind of having dinner, doing our thing. Mario was locked in on Hunter. About 8 or 9 months later, he had called Hunter and asked his opinion on a few places just over the phone. And he sent us a message, and he said, I want to thank Hunter. And this is what we take for granted when we're around people all the time. He said, Hunter, I did exactly what you said, and I just made $1 million on that deal. And so what happens sometimes is when I'm with Hunter every day, sometimes you forget, you know what I mean, how good he is at what he does. And when we're around some of these other people, you realize when Hunter speaks how many people listen. And so I've just considered it a privilege, obviously, over the years for Hunter and I. I've got the most respect for him, but just for his friendship, too. Just the way that he leads, the way that he just lives his life. And so, Hunter, I'm going to ask you to come up, and we're going to talk a little infrastructure and some things. I'm going to grab my notebook also while you're coming up.
Good morning.
I'm ready to go? All right.
Okay.
All right. So as you guys know, one of the things that Hunter does a lot of, obviously, with shoulder to shoulder with Lisa Jones, is working with new homes. And so, Hunter, if you don't mind, just kind of give us an update on kind of where infrastructure-wise and as well as the new homes, what we're seeing right now.
Thanks, Jimmy. Wonderful to be with you guys today. Hopefully we can provide some value for you this morning. I wanted to give you a little bit of update as it relates to the local new homes, what we handle, but also what is going on out there beyond us as well. We have a lot of phenomenal things going on here. You guys are in such a dynamic growth area, probably one of the most dynamic growth areas in the country right now. And with what you see, the infrastructure that you see going on throughout the area, which you see it everywhere. I mean, just constant infrastructure going on. Things are changing. You see new things opening on a regular basis. That is going to help us really kind of work through this, Fed tightening cycle that we're kind of going through right now. Locally, that is going to really be helpful. To give you a little bit of insight as to what is happening just with our new homes division, we've got at Origins right now, we have not had a lot of inventory to really sell. We've had some gap out processes due to the absorptions that we saw in 20 and 21 and early 22. It's taken some time to catch that back up. At this point right now, we have going into about the next 18 months, we have 4 different sections of Origins that will be released over the next 18 months. If we look at an average of about $1 million to $1.2 million is what we're seeing in Origins right now, you're looking at about $700 million of inventory coming that is available in sales opportunities for you here in the next 18 months to 20 months. So those are a good thing, and those are items that I think that you guys, as it relates to engagement with your database, how do I engage with my buyers? I want to engage with my buyers simply through new things. As it relates to that, it's a simple process of actually sending out something that actually is introducing somebody to something new that is occurring in the area. Doesn't matter if it's product, doesn't matter if it's amenities, doesn't matter anything. That you'll see that actual engagement happen with those types of things. We also have other communities coming out as well. It's still ongoing. We have the Pinewood development, the condos over on 393. We have about 94 of those remaining. Amenities are finishing up over there right now. That's an exciting development as we start to get more of that inventory online. We have the Breakfast Point East property, or Breakfast Point, kind of in the east section of that right now. We have a fair amount of that going on right now as well. We also have some new things happening at River Camps. River Camps, we've got an 8-lot scenario where we're starting to work with a particular developer right now, getting into a more of a production building mode with that. St. Joe's got about 144 lots there to actually work through. So inventory there will be coming as well. I know you've all been, if you've gone to the airport or flown out of here, you see what's happening up there right now. So River Camps, we think, is going to be probably one of the more high end of the West Bay area. Over in that area, I mean, we don't directly handle it, but we do promote. We all do promote Latitude at Margaritaville. We've seen that. The most dynamic thing that we've seen in our area happen there in the last 2 years. They have sold over 1,000 homes in that area that fast. It's incredible to see that. The first phase of that is 3,000, and then they're already working on the next 3,000, and there will be an additional 3,000 plus as long as that process continues the way it goes. I can really go on and on and on about some of this.
I'll tell you what would be good, I think, because we've done this a little bit, but I think let's talk a little bit about some of those amenities that we're seeing, especially on that 79 corridor and some of the things, whether it be the hospital, whether it be the marina to come, those types of things, if you don't mind. Yeah,
Highway 79, I really look at Highway 79 as ground zero for development right now. If you don't drive it often, I would put that, every opportunity you get, drive up 79, get up to Margaritaville, take a drive through there. There's so much going on in that space right now. You have a medical research facility that is going in right now, right there, just north of 98 on 79, where the new Back Beach Road is happening right now. You see a large building being erected right now. That's the first medical building that they're doing for that. I mean, there will be 435 room hospital there in the next 3 to 4 years, probably. And so that complex has also got a component with Florida State. It gives Florida State a medical research component. Recently, some of the hierarchy at St. Joe mentioned to me that they feel like that area there will be a destination type of medical component to our community. Much like you might see the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville or the Cleveland Clinic. I mean, those types of things. They vision that as being that powerful and big of a draw. I think there's not anything that's going on in our area that is more powerful than that one right there, right now. So that whole area that you see is all forest. Of course, St. Joe owns all of it, and they have a very, very good plan for that whole area. You start to see some more residential coming up. D.R. Horton has started some multifamily and some single family on the right side of 79. There's also another national home builder that will be very eye-opening when it's announced. That will be on the left side of 79 going up toward 388. The marina has been planned for years, is scheduled to break ground this year, right there south of Latitude on the intercoastal going into West Bay. That will be roughly about 270 dry slips. There'll be a restaurant component there as well, and eventually probably some retail, that type of thing. They have to get that going because of the number of houses that they've sold and the number of houses they're going to sell at Latitude. But it will also serve a lot of upgrade to our boating infrastructure in our area. So,
you want to speak to Kai a little bit also?
Sure, yeah. Kaya Beach Resort is a very special property. We see Kaya really escalating the sophistication of our area to some degree. We think that Kaya is going to bring a certain level of service. The developers there are very careful about how they release and how they actually portray Kaya. You haven't seen a whole lot of marketing. We haven't done much marketing at all with Kaya. We think that's going to change this year. They have signed an agreement with a company called Coral Tree Management, based out of the West Coast, that is going to be managing the resort. The resort is going to turn on in early August. We have a number of initiatives there that are going on now. We have the Kayak Club Residence that's under construction. We have one property remaining there that's developer-owned, a 3-bedroom. We're just starting to see some resales starting to form up there, but inventory has continued to be tight there, but we're definitely selling some. It just like all of you. I mean, it takes the sales funnel is a little more elongated. It takes a little bit longer to get things done, but we are getting things done there. The inn there is the design is complete, is pretty close to complete. Just heard the developer say this week that he intends on starting that by the end of this year, the inn. So that is a big piece of entry point to the sector plan and the origins and what will be in generations a new city.
Yeah. And by the way, if you looked on your agenda and you see JD mentioned right here, JD was running a fever the other night, and we were like, hey, stay home. We don't want you hugging up on everybody and taking pictures with him. So
he's better. He's better.
He's doing better. So, but also let's do this, because I think Price brought up a great point on the process. I think a lot of people, and the way that I built my business, sales business, the way you built your business, same way that Price built his was the same way. So let's go back and talk from a standpoint of creating inventory, because it's basically, we see these relationships you've built, and you and Lisa built with St. Joe, with all of these builders, with all these developers. Let's go back to the roots and talk to kind of that process and how that started, if you don't mind.
Sure. Just a little bit of, I guess, insight on that. I mean, it goes back to just some basics, which not a lot of us do and think about a lot, but it has to do with land, and it starts with just individual single-family lots, for instance. Everybody sees them in every market. There's single-family lots that have been sitting, or even through great markets that we've been in, they're still sitting there. No telling why, but it is an opportunity. Those are all opportunities to create new inventory for yourself, for the area. If you just simply find out who owns them and get in touch with them and see what their plans are with those. We did this really in the Great Recession. We did that pretty strong, where we actually went through and indexed quite a bit of the single family inventory that was available out there and just raw lots. And started to sell those to investors and then builders as well. The builders actually, we simply just went to the public records to look at who's pulling permits right now, who's active in the marketplace, and started contacting those builders and see who's actually wanting to do that. I mean, are you interested in buying lots? I mean, you see that you're building things. What do you do? I mean, that was the grassroots of how we kind of ramped this up. I mean, before that, we were on site here at Watercolor from the very beginning at Watercolor, and really got a lot of our start there to really learn the new homes process and the business of it. But the basics is really about land. I know we have a few folks in here that are doing this on a really good scale. We've already seen some of you actually take this concept and actually develop investment spec homes, and those are actually coming to the market, and you see a lot of draw toward new product, more draw to new product than you do on resale to some degree. So leveraging the new product that we have in the new homes division, just the awareness, but also doing it yourself and being aware. It doesn't look that exciting when you're actually dealing with a single family lot, but you think about the number of commissions that come along with just a simple single family lot that's been created there. It's a commission on the lot, it's probably a referral on the construction, and it's also a sale on the home, but it's also the next sale from that home. Think about the trajectory of what you have there. That's a smaller way of looking at it. But then you actually take that whole concept and you look at more on the land factor. And I mean, I could go on and on and on about this, but the strategy, I would love to spend time with any of you that are interested in this concept to work through some strategy as it relates to how to build your business based on new product. Mm-hmm. And so, Happy to do it.
Yeah, and I can remember Price having we would have the maps up on the wall with literally writing on it, the
Yep.
names and the phone numbers and the dates of purchase and all those things. Everything's digital now. It's so much easier.
That tells us a lot about
I know it's
how
been a
we
little
are.
while. Yeah, we're getting old. But literally, let me just kind of give this practically to you so that you can kind of see it. If you were looking for something, if I were told today I had to sell something in the next 60 days, or I had to get a listing in the next 60 days, I would literally go and find all of the lots that are undeveloped, and I would call, majority of them are out-of-town owners in our area, and just simply ask them, do you have plans for the lot? Is there a price where you would consider selling the lot? And then what I would do on top of that is I would drive these neighborhoods and find the little white things and pull them open to see who was the builder. I'd call the builder and I'd ask, is this a spec build you're doing, or is this something that you're building custom for someone? And if it's and then if they say, well, I'm going to spec build it, do you have an agent that I should call, or should I call you for details if I have a buyer? And then, hey, if I were to find another lot like this, would you be interested in buying one? Now you've got a reason to call people and say, hey, I've got someone that's looking to buy a lot in this neighborhood. It's just that simple process. Again, it's going back to having those conversations. But it's amazing how literally, if you're looking at the new homes division that Hunter, Price, JD, Lisa have built, it all started right there doing that. And it's finding those builders and helping their needs. So practically, that's what I would say.
Yeah, it's not hard. That's just a simple practice. I mean, to put that into just into a routine of practice, you're creating inventory. When you're creating inventory, you get a lot of your own interest and leads. I mean, I'll point out just a simple scenario. Look on Highway 30A right now. You drive down the road, you see the signs that are on in front of these lots with these houses going up, different agents, but they've been doing that concept. And what they've been doing is actually just going in areas and finding the raw land lots that have the most exposure, really simply so they can put a sign on it. That's what, and it's the same concept as it relates to Highway 98. You can see those folks that actually have the signs on 98, same concept. They're simply actually getting the contact with the raw land so they can actually have a location to put a sign. That's essentially what it is. Beyond that, it just opens up a lot of doors.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so as we're wrapping up, is there anything you would say that you would suggest that you see opportunities or where you would be focused this year?
Yeah, I mean, I would simply really in all of the areas that you're in, wherever you're specializing, I would be super aware of the lots that have been created in the communities that are just sitting there. I mean, I think that it's so basic, I know, but those are things that they just create longer and medium term income for yourself if you'll do that now. And this is the time to do it. Here this year, this is the time to do it, because by the time we get to 24 and 25, the market is going to be different than it is now. That's simple. I mean, it's going to be different. I think we all think that by the time we get to 25, that's what we want to prepare for. Right now, we want to prepare for the next growth portion of the cycle. That could be in spring of 25 or sooner. I mean, we won't really feel it, I don't think, because we're seeing some pretty good absorptions right now. The good news is we have inventory, and we have new inventory. Leverage that, leverage me, leverage our teams to engage your buyers.
Yeah, and let me just say this. If there is a community that we have on-site people and you have not gotten a tour, please reach out to me or to Hunter. We'll be glad to introduce you to the teams there so that they can make sure that you have a better understanding of exactly who the ideal client is, so that when that information comes up and they're saying something, you're like, oh, that's an Origins person. Oh, that's a Kaya person. And you have the knowledge. You don't have to know it all, but enough to get them in touch with the professionals as well.
Yeah, everybody we have on site is super specialized in those communities, knows everything about them. So it's not a type of thing that you have to know. All you have to do is bring them to them. That's all.
That's great. Everybody give Hunter a hand if you don't mind. Thank you. We're going to do pictures now.